Welcome everybody to House of the Wolf Horror. I'm your host, Flayed Wolf. Tonight's story, Echoes of Light, was written and narrated by me. I hope you enjoy. I arrived in Vatican City on a gray morning that felt like it had been drained of color. The sky hung low over the ancient stone city, pressing down like a weight. Even the air tasted old dust, incense, and something metallic beneath it all, like blood on a coin. I'd taken the job because I needed the money. That's what I told myself. But the truth was simpler. I had nowhere else to be. My life back home had collapsed in on itself. Job gone, relationship gone, family distant. When the Sanctum of the Dawn contacted me about a security modernization contract, I said yes before I even understood what they wanted. I didn't know then that they wanted a man with no ties. A man no one would miss. A man who could disappear into the dark. The basilica towered over the city like a monument to secrets. Its marble spires clawed at the sky. Its bells tolled with a sound that made my teeth ache. The guards who met me at the gate didn't smile. They didn't speak. They just led me inside down a corridor lined with frescoes of winged figures locked in an eternal battle. Then they took me to the elevator. It wasn't an elevator. It was a cage. A wrought iron cage suspended over a shaft that plunged into darkness. The guard stepped in with me, pulled the gate shut, and began the descent. The air grew colder, the light dimmed. The walls changed from marble to rough-hewn stone. "How far down does this go?" I asked. Neither guard answered. The cage rattled to a stop, the gate opened, a corridor stretched ahead, lit by lamps that flickered with bluish flame, and didn't seem to cast shadows. "This is the Catacomb of Chains," one guard said. "You will install the surveillance systems here." "What exactly am I surveilling?" He didn't answer. He didn't need to, because at the end of the corridor, behind a set of iron doors taller than a house, something moved. A slow, grinding shift of stone. A sound like a breath drawn into the dark. The chamber was circular, domed, and impossibly vast. The ceiling was painted with a mural of a celestial war. Wings torn, halos shattered, light and shadow entwined in a violent dance. But my eyes were drawn to the center of the room, to the sarcophagus. It was carved from black stone veined with silver, wrapped in chains that pulsed faintly like veins under the skin. The chains were etched with symbols, sharp, angular, wrong. They hurt to look at. They felt like they were looking back. "What is this?" I whispered. The guard beside me crossed himself, not a gesture I recognized, but something older, more primal. "This is the Morning Star," he said, "the fallen one, the betrayer, the one who sought to unmake creation." I stared at him. "You're telling me there's a fallen seraph in that box?" He didn't blink. "We don't speak its name." But I felt it. A presence, a pressure, a weight in the air like a storm about to break, and then a whisper. Soft, faint, like breath against my ear. "Hello." I spun around. No one was there. The guards didn't react. They didn't hear it, but I did. I told myself it was my imagination. Jet lag, stress, the oppressive atmosphere of the catacomb. But the whisper returned. Not through my ears, through my mind. "You are alone." I froze. "You have always been alone." My throat tightened. "Stop," I whispered. The voice chuckled, a soft, velvety sound that slid under my skin. "I cannot stop. You opened the door when you stepped into this place." I backed away from the sarcophagus. The chains rattled, just once, just enough to let me know something was inside, awake, watching, waiting. My job was simple. Install cameras, sensors, biometric locks. The sanctum wanted modern oversight layer to top ancient wards. They didn't trust technology alone, and they didn't trust their rituals alone. They wanted both. I worked 12-hour shifts in the vault, alone except for the guards stationed outside the chamber. They never entered. They never looked directly at the sarcophagus. They stood like statues, hands on their weapons, eyes fixed on the floor. The whisper grew bolder. You are tired. I ignored it. You are empty. I kept working. Let me fill you. I dropped the cable spool. Shut up, I hissed. The whisper laughed. You cannot silence what is already inside of you. By the end of the first week, I wasn't sleeping. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw the sarcophagus, the chains, the symbols, the faint pulse beneath the stone. And I heard the whisper. Always the whisper. Sometimes in spoken words, sometimes in images, sometimes in feelings that weren't mine. I started seeing things in the corner of my vision. Shadows that moved against the light, wings that flickered like dying flames, eyes watching me from cracks in the stone. I told myself it was stress, but the whisper disagreed. You are awakening. To what? I whispered. To the truth. I confronted Cardinal Severin, the man who'd hired me. I hear something down there, I said. A voice. He didn't look surprised. You must not listen, he said. Its words are poison. What is it? He folded his hands. A seraph, he said. The morning star. The one who rebelled against the celestial order. Why is it here? Because we bound it, he said. To protect the world. I stared at him. You're telling me you imprisoned the devil under your basilica? Yes. And you expect me to believe that? He leaned forward. You heard its voice. I didn't have an answer for that. Why can I hear it, I asked. Because you were unshielded, he said. You are not of our order. You are vulnerable. Then why hire me? Because we needed somebody expendable. He said it without hesitation, without remorse, and in that moment I realized something. The sanctum feared the whisper, but they feared me more. The next time I descended, the whisper greeted me like an old friend. They lied to you. I ignored it. They fear what they cannot control. I kept working. They fear you. That made me pause. Why would they fear me? Because you can hear me. So? Only those touched by the morning star can hear the truth. I shook my head. You're manipulating me. Am I? Or are they? The chains rattled. A crack appeared in the stone. Just a hairline fracture, but enough. Enough for a sliver of light to escape. A light that crawled across the floor like a living ray of sunlight. A light that touched my boot and burned. The burn mark didn't heal. It spread. Slowly. A faint glow beneath my skin, like veins filled with liquid fire. I wrapped my ankle in bandages and told myself it was nothing. A chemical burn. A reaction to the stone dust. But the whisper knew better. You are becoming. Becoming what? Mine. I staggered back. No. Yes. The light beneath my skin pulsed. You opened the door. You let me in. I didn't. Intent is irrelevant. Only consequences matter. I pressed my hands to my temples. Get out of my head. I cannot. You invited me. The dreams began on the 10th night. I stood in a field of white fire. The sky above me swirled with wings, thousands of them beating in unison. In the center stood a figure of light, so bright it hurt to look at. Come, it said. I stepped forward. The light dimmed just enough for me to see a face, beautiful, terrible, shifting like molten gold. You are not meant to live in darkness, it said. Let me show you the truth. I reached out. Its hand touched mine. and I awoke screaming. By the third week, I couldn't tell where the whisper ended and my thoughts began. Sometimes I heard it when I was awake, sometimes when I was asleep, sometimes when I wasn't sure which I was. The guards avoided me, the cardinal watched me, the sarcophagus pulsed like a heartbeat, and the crack widened. I found myself drawn to it, compelled, obsessed. I would stand in front of the sarcophagus for hours, staring at the fracture, listening to the whisper. You are special. You are chosen. You are mine. I didn't believe it, but part of me wanted to. Part of me needed to. Part of me was already lost. It happened on the 21st day. I was adjusting a camera when the whisper spoke in a tone I'd never heard before. Run! I froze. What? Run! The chain snapped. All at once, the sound was deafening. Metal screaming, stone cracking, air splitting. The sarcophagus exploded outward in a shower of dust and light. I was thrown across the chamber, slamming into the wall hard enough to see stars. When I opened my eyes, the chamber was filled with wings. Not feathered, not angelic, wings of light, wings of fire, and wings of shadow. A figure rose from the sarcophagus, tall, radiant, terrifying. Its face was both beautiful and monstrous, shifting like molten gold. Its eyes were twin suns. Its voice was the sound of creation tearing. I am free. I crawled backwards. What have I done? What you were meant to do. It stepped toward me. Do not fear. You are mine. No, I whispered. You cannot refuse what you have already chosen. The chamber shook, the world shifted, and everything went dark. I don't know how long I was unconscious for. When I woke, the basilica was in ruins. The city was burning. The sky was torn open. The whisper was no longer a whisper. It was a roar, a chorus, a command. Rise. I staggered to my feet. My skin glowed. My veins burned. My mind fractured. I saw things that weren't there, heard voices that weren't mine, felt wings unfolding from my back wings made of light and shadow. I screamed. The scream wasn't human. Lucifer stood at the top of the basilica steps, wings unfurled, light cascading from him like a waterfall. He looked at me. Sentinel? His voice shook the earth. You are my herald. No, I whispered. Yes. He raised his hand. My body moved without my consent. I stepped towards him. You open the door, he said. Now walk through it. I felt my mind slipping, my identity dissolving. My thoughts were merging with his. I was becoming something else, something terrible, something divine. I don't know how I found the strength. Maybe it was fear, maybe it was instinct, maybe it was the last fragment of who I used to be. But I fought. I pushed back. I screamed, No! The light inside me flickered. Lucifer recoiled. You cannot resist. I can. You are mine. I am not. I reached into myself, into the burning, glowing infection, and tore. The pain was indescribable. Light poured from my mouth, my eyes, my skin. Lucifer screamed. The world shattered. I woke in darkness. Not the catacomb, not the basilica, not the city. Somewhere else, somewhere cold, somewhere silent, somewhere empty. The whisper was gone, but the echo remained. A faint hum beneath my thoughts, a reminder, a warning, a promise. I don't know if I defeated him. I don't know if I freed myself. I don't know if I'm alive. All I know is this: the whisper is waiting, and one day it will speak again. If you enjoyed tonight's story, please remember to hit that like button or leave a comment. And if you want to hear more from this channel and more stories that we've got written, please remember to hit that subscribe button. It'd mean a lot to us. Thank you, and have a great night.